Welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm Sean Anderson, your host, and on this week's edition of Coach's Corner, Ponca City Wildcat football head coach Josh Allen is with us, and we're going to talk about the Tulsa, Washington game a little bit. We'll talk about Bartlesville and homecoming coming up with Sand Springs on October 6th. And Coach Allen, Tulsa, Washington comes to town. It's a team that the first district matchup. There's a lot of talent on that Tulsa, Washington team. Tell us how this game stacked up.
Well, good. I mean, probably could be the toughest team we play in our 10-game schedule. I have to put them as definitely a top 1 to 2 team to compete for maybe a 6A2 state title right now. They got a lot of good players, a lot of talent, and so best team we've played up to this point. And
when your team is playing a team like that, as far as their ability to take that experience and grab the positives out of it, we don't even have to talk about the final score of the game, but there were a lot of positives and a lot of opportunities for growth. Would you say? Would you put it that way?
Absolutely. Yeah. No. I mean, we've got a young team as anybody's come to our games has seen. Quarterback's a sophomore, and just playing at that speed, and obviously we learn off our mistakes, and so when you just over time, each rep, things will become to slow down. Even when you're playing a real talented team, things will eventually slow down, and we did some good things. There's a lot of what you say when you play a game like that. There was a lot of you look for battles within the game, whether from individuals or position groups or the whole unit. And, we had several of those.
Some shout outs to players.
Yeah, Dalton Vogel, I mean, he had, I think 8 catches against, and this was against their top defensive backs, but or even some against McCorders or one of their top Division I. He caught several passes against those guys, and Justin threw good footballs there to them. And I thought on the defensive side, I thought our secondary played well. They gave up, I think 2 or 3 decent passes, but that was it all game. I thought our guys really tackled well in the secondary and played decent defense in the secondary. I want to give a shout out to Josh Fairbanks. Really had a rough game against Guthrie and improved mightily against Booker T on film. Defensive line, Josh Belagic, Lennox Sun Eagle, and Anthony Burris all, did a great job in there and really competed well. And linebacker Avon Marchiga and stuff also had a decent game. So, defense had a lot of good stops a lot of good plays. Obviously Booker T has big play potential and they would make some. But, our guys did well in that department. It's still, at some point, we have to still play better, even when you're playing a team like Booker T. We had too many mistakes and things like that, and their overall team speed and stuff became is an issue, and we got exposed certain times of the game like that. But otherwise, we learned from it. Sometimes when you play a game like that, is it all us or is it a lot them? Too. I mean, we're not going to be the only team that they did it to 61-0 to Shawnee. We still scored 21 against them. Will they have scores that are like that coming up? And I would assume they would. So it's not. They're just a good football team too as well. Still though, we're concerned about us, and we want to look for those battles to praise the guys and things to praise them, and then continue to point out and correct the things that are not done well.
Right. Well, looking forward to the schedule, and you've got to look forward to those highlights and the player improvements. Like you said, from game to game, you're seeing marked improvements with certain players, certain positions. And now you're getting into a part of the schedule that you say you really like the looks of the schedule.
Yeah, well, I mean, matchups are better. Where we're its matchups are a little better for our guys, and still good teams. We still have, we got Bartlesville this week, and that's our number one concern is Bartlesville. It's rivalry game. Phillips 56 trophy that we can bring to Ponca City, would be fun. And they're a team that has had a similar, they had a similar loss to Muskogee a week ago, and they've had some coaching issues there with one of their head coach stepping down. So that might be a game that is going to be a tough, hard fought game, but we can. If we play well, give ourselves a chance to win there, and then then you take it from there. We can get one, then momentum can build. We got Sand Springs, who we really played well a year ago. Again, we had a couple weird plays in the first quarter that set us back, and then after that point, that it was a back and forth game, and
it was on.
Yeah, it was on, and then we got Bigsby returning 20. They've been a state championship team for the last several years now. They'll come, but they've lost twice. They got some issues, and so then Sapulpa, Norman, Muskogee. So that back stretch, on the most part, I'm sure that we'll have to take it week by week, but matchups look all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, there is a trophy on the line with this Bartlesville game, and if you're watching this, of course, we tape this show on Monday. If you're watching on Thursday or Friday, I hope you're making plans to travel to Bartlesville and back the Cats. I know it's going to be a whole bunch of buses headed to Bartlesville because not only the football team, the band's going, the high steppers are going. Everyone is making this a big deal, as they should. And rivalry game, that's got to play a role in firing up the players. I mean, they want to get this W against Bartlesville.
Yes, it'll be big. It'll be like in any kind of rivalry game. It just brings a little extra buzz for the players, practice and things like that. It'll help us get past this loss and get refocused and it's what we ask, just these guys to focus in and play hard, and this all rivalry games help you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, October 6th, Solon Stadium. It is homecoming. Sand Springs will be coming to town. And before the game, I know the Poe High Steppers and Coach Smith would like it for me to tell you to get your $10 dinner coupons. They'll be serving those dinners right before the game, starting at 4:30. They do have drive-through service. That's right before the homecoming game. But let's talk about that homecoming game, Sand Springs. And, of course, you're watching this perhaps later in the week before the Sand Springs homecoming game. Homecoming is always special, of course, and Sand Springs comes to town. Is this, as you look at the schedule, is this the opponent for homecoming you'd like to see?
Oh, yeah. They're tough. Don't get me wrong. They're having a good season. They've won. I think they've won their 3 games this year, two or three games this year, and they got probably the best running back, maybe the best running back in the district, or one of them. They play tough. Coach is a great coach, and has his team ready to play every time we see them. They're physical. They play hard, but again, we've played well against them in the past. And so, hopefully it's a good game. But no, definitely, it's not a bad game for homecoming.
Yeah. Get there early. Enjoy the dinner with the High Steppers, and make your way to Solon Stadium. We certainly hope you're at Solon Stadium on October 6th for homecoming against Sand Springs. Coach, this season, it's hard to believe we're getting into October.
It's crazy.
Cooler weather, of course, settling in this week. How does that cooler weather affect your team?
Well, it's probably the same way it affects anybody watching this, as far as, everybody, you get that little cool weather. It got like animals, your animals at your house to
Right.
you. Everybody gets a little more, little energy, a little more frisky in that department as far as going outside and running around. It's the same thing with, us coaches and young people, players will, it makes, it just feels better to be outside and it makes everybody, just enjoy the 2-hour,
Right.
practice out there instead of suffering,
Right.
when it was, like this past week when it's, 90-something degrees every day on turf, so it just, it's easier to get the guys a little pep in their step when the weather's nice, so, everybody loves fall. I love fall like everybody. It's one of my favorite seasons, and part of it is the weather.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Josh Allen, coach of the Ponca City Wildcat football team. And that's going to do it for this edition of Coach's Corner. Now, of course, Bartlesville this Friday, and then October 6th, homecoming against Sand Spring. Coach, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
That is Coach's Corner. We're going to wrap it up. I'm Sean Anderson, your host. Thanks for watching. Until next time.